Spend the day off-roading with us in Moab, Utah as we tackle the Fins and Things Trail in the Sand Flats Recreation Area. On the way over to the trail entrance, we spotted a pretty well-known off-road recovery YouTube, Trailmater. We were excited to drive behind him for a bit. Originally, our plan for the day was to run Hell's Revenge, but the entrance to that trail can be a little intimidating. It starts by climbing straight up a steep slickrock fin with steep drop-offs on either side and very little room for error. After just a few minutes on the trail, someone in another side-by-side decided they wanted to start the day with something a little easier. So we suggested heading over to Fins and Things instead. We were running the trail in our Can-Am Defender, and my brother and his fiancée were riding along with their Polaris Expedition. Even though both trails are usually rated somewhere between moderate and difficult, depending on the trail rating system, I personally found Hell's Revenge to feel a little bit more intimidating than Fins and Things. We actually came back and ran Hell's Revenge a few days later, and I'll have a video of that day too. Once we got started on Fins and Things, it took us about 3.5 hours to complete the full trail. This trail is famous for its rolling slick rock terrain. The entire area sits on a massive sandstone formation that was created over millions of years ago from ancient sand dunes that eventually hardened into rock. Over time, erosion carved the surface into long, narrow ridges and valleys. Those ridges are what people call the fins, and the dips between them are the things. Driving it feels a little like riding a roller coaster made out of rock. You climb steep, slick rock fins, drop down into sand valleys, and then climb right back up the next one. One thing that makes this trail easier to follow is that this trail is very well marked. The safest driving lines have black tire marks from the thousands of vehicles that have driven it before. And there are also white painted arrows along the rock that guide you along the trail. We saw just about every type of off-road vehicle out there that day. There were Jeeps, Broncos, pickups, side-by-sides from a bunch of different brands, and even some guided group tours. For an early April day in the desert, it was actually pretty cold, and halfway through the trail we got a surprise when it started snowing. The snow quickly turned into a little bit of sleet, which made the slick rock even slicker than usual. But we kept rolling, and it made for a pretty memorable ride. Fins and Things is about 9 miles long, and it is one of the most popular trails in the area because it offers incredible views, fun obstacles, and a great introduction to driving on Moab's famous slick rock.